Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video I'll be answering the most common questions that I was getting regarding this Pixel 2 XL. And I have been using this smartphone as my primary smartphone for the last 3 days, and I've got quite a few questions from you. But before that, as you can see this wall, it has got that interesting pattern. Actually, we partnered with Asian Paints and they have done this job. Actually, this is the role play wall fashion. So if you're getting your house painted, instead of just getting it painted normally, you can also have attractive patterns like this. Again, check out the role play wall fashion. Now coming back to these questions, as you can see, I've got quite a few, so let's start taking them up. And what do I feel about this Google Pixel 2 XL after using it for a couple of days? And yes, I'll also be including the questions that you have about the screen and some of the screen issues that are rampant about this one. So we'll talk about that also. But the first question, this is from Brahmat. He's asking, does it have a physical LED notification light, and what about screen burning? Is it that deal breaking? First, let's talk about the physical LED notification light. Yes, it actually does have a physical LED notification light here at the top, but by default, it is actually switched off. So you have to go into the settings, display options, and actually activate it. And yes, it works. It's a tiny one, but that works. Moving to the screen burning issue, as I've told you guys, I've been using this for just about 3 days now as my primary smartphone. As of now, I don't notice any screen burning issue or anything. That the screen burning, again, I'll have to use it for again 2 or more weeks or so. Then I'll be able to answer. But as of now, I'm not noticing the screen burning issue. But yeah, that if you tilt the phone, for example, this is Twitter, the white background. That's what I've noticed on white backgrounds. If you tilt it a little bit, it gets slightly on the bluer side, and this is actually there. If you look at straight, nothing happens, but if you tilt it, the screen tends to become blue. And this is definitely there. And I feel that's a hardware issue that cannot be solved by the software. Coming to other things like the colors are dull, that can be actually solved with the software. And Google has already mentioned they will be pushing out an update with the 8.1 Oreo, where we'll have option of having extra saturated colors. But that screen tilting, when you have, I notice it only on white screen. Generally, you tilt it, that blue tint is definitely there. Next question is from Anurag. How many hours of screen on time does it provide as compared to the Note 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus? iPhone 8 Plus, again, you know, iPhones, you can't simply calculate correctly the SOT. So I'll talk about the, Note 8. With the Note 8, when I was using it as my primary smartphone, I was hovering anywhere between 4.5 hours of screen on time. That was the average that I was getting. A max that I touched was 5 hours. On this one, with the first charge, I touched 5.5 hours of screen on time, and just now the second charge was completed, and it touched about 6 hours 10 minutes. So roughly between 5.5 hours to 6 hours of screen on time you can expect. So definitely, yeah, in terms of battery life, it will give you better battery life compared to the Note 8. With the Note 8 on a heavy day usage, at the end of the day, I used to get anxious, and I would say if it was a heavy day, I had to put it on charge. But with this one, I'm not noticing that. This is by Sumit. What are your thoughts on the portrait mode of the Pixel camera? Sumit, just watch the other video that I posted just last Saturday. I'll have the link in the description area. There I compared the camera performance of this Pixel 2 XL with the regular Pixel. And yes, this one actually has that portrait mode for both the back and the front. And to be frank, the results are actually very good. Again, check out the samples for yourself. In fact, I was amazed with the front-facing camera's portrait quality. Yeah, obviously, they were talking a lot about the rear facing camera, but yeah, even the front facing camera has that portrait mode, and actually it works very well. This is by Maruf. Is it an overall balanced device? Do you think Note 8 and S8 are better options as they are cheaper and offer more hardware and software features? I would say the biggest advantage the Note 8 and the S8 has is the screen. The screen is definitely better on the Note 8. In fact, I would say the screen quality of the Note 8 as of now is the best in the world. Even the upcoming iPhone 10, I'll be getting that. I don't think so that will compete in the screen quality compared to the Note 8. The Note 8 has the best screen. So yeah, if screen is the highest priority, go with that. But the problem with the Samsung phone generally is that, and I can attest to this because I've used Samsung phones. For example, the Galaxy S8, Amit Bhavani was actually using that one as his primary smartphone. But now what? It's almost 4.5 or 5 months. It started lagging. Battery life was bad on that. And I think so now he has sold it. So that's the problem with Samsung phones. Though, yeah, the hardware is good and stuff, but after 5-6 months, they tend to lag and also the battery drains. That is what differentiates this Pixel devices. These Pixel devices, I would say, are like iPhones. Even after a year or so, the performance is very good because Google just doesn't add bloatware and they're very proactive about pushing updates. So that is the biggest thing I would say. The advantage of Pixel devices is the software and the software updates, and they don't tend to lag in. In fact, I would say my Pixel XL, that's over a year now, I've been using it. It hardly lags compared to the S7 that I had. The S7 became so bad that I just sold it recently, my wife's. So that's the problem. I feel Samsung should really concentrate on what do you say? Yeah, initially when you get the phone for the first couple of 3-4 months, it doesn't lag, but afterwards it tends to lag. So in that area, yeah, the Pixel. But yeah, screen quality, any day I would say the Note 8 and even the Galaxy S8 screen would be better. Those don't have that, what do you say? Tilt, if you tilt, the colors will shift and stuff like that. And I'll talk about the screen quality later on. There's one more question, so I'll take up that. This is by Harsh. Is the now playing feature accurate enough? Harsh, to be frank, I didn't actually test that because by default it's not enabled. I just got busy. I was testing other stuff, so I didn't test that now playing feature. You have to actually enable it in the settings. This is by Gupta. How's the RAM management of the Pixel 2 XL? Can it hold more apps in memory than the Note 8, which has 6 GB of RAM? The RAM management has been excellent on this Pixel 2 XL. I would say I didn't bother about the RAM management. That means the RAM management was very good. And again, while regular using the phone, I never felt like the apps were reloading and stuff. So in terms of RAM management, it is done very well. The Note 8, yeah, it has 6 GB of RAM, but again, if you recall, with the Galaxy S8 when I reviewed, it had 4 GB of RAM. I was talking about RAM management problems. So it's the optimization, guys, that is there with these Pixel devices, just like the iPhone. It's very, very, very highly optimized. So even with 4 GB of RAM, the performance, I would say, it's the fastest Android phone that I've used. And it is the most fluid Android device. It just flies. Whatever you touch, it just loads. So no problems regarding RAM management. But yeah, I feel at least for the XL, because we like, what do you say, the price is about 73,000. They should have given 6 GB of RAM. But yeah, even with 4, it just flies. This is by Batwal. He's asking, what do you suggest, Samsung Galaxy Note 8 at 67,000 or the Pixel 2 XL at 73,000? Been getting a lot of questions like this. Again, it depends. I would say, yeah, the screen has a slight compromise, as I've told you, on particularly white background. For example, I use Twitter a lot. If you tilt it, I don't know, the camera will capture this or not. You see that blue tint screen? That is theirs. That is simply not there on the Note 8. So if screen is your highest priority, just go with the Note 8. But I've used both the devices, the Note 8 and even this one. But I am preferring this one because this is a lot lighter. It gets slightly more battery life, almost 1 hour extra screen on time compared to the Note 8. And also it's not that heavy. And I would say in camera, actually this one is doing a far better job. And it also has that front-facing camera actually that has a portrait mode, and that actually works. I thought it would be a gimmick, but it actually works. So yeah, both of them are actually very good phone, but I would personally pick this one because I know that this will get the updates quicker and it will not slow down over time. But yeah, screen quality, definitely, man, the Note 8 has an awesome screen. Next, this is by Jagdish. He's asking, you say it's fluid. How's it performing compared to other Snapdragon 835 chipset? As I've told you, the Note 8, also the international variant, has a Snapdragon 835, but I do notice some micro lags at time. And guys, you are paying for the software experience. As it's a pure Android, Android, it is developed by Google, and this is by Google, so they have optimized it like crazy. So it is the most fluid device, though it's running the same processor like the OnePlus 5. OnePlus 5, in fact, I would say is also a very fluid device. But again, recently I was testing the Nokia 8 that also has the Snapdragon 835, but this is just way more fluid in operations. So again, it comes down to the software optimization. I would say you are paying that premium not just for the hardware, but it's the software optimization. And I think so Google is just keeping that new launcher, the extra software optimization for their Pixel devices. Sad, but yeah, that's the case. This is by Shitej. How is the speaker and the earpiece on this one, and the charging time? Okay, a lot of questions. Speaker, it has that dual speakers. I think so. Let me just play a video, one of my own videos, if I can. The speakers are actually very good. I would say it's comparable to the speakers on the iPhone 8 Plus. Those were also dual speaker. For example, let's just 2XL on the right. And even the original Pixel actually had a very good camera. The earpiece is also a speaker, and this is also here we have a speaker. So the speaker quality is actually really good. It's almost comparable to the iPhone 8 Plus front firing speaker. Again, it's a proper front firing speaker here and here. So the audio via the speaker is actually good on this one. And this is by Atif. Is the blue tint on the screen of Pixel noticeable while using the phone normally? With the normally, I would say it's not visible. For example, when I was watching videos and stuff, it's not my normal background colors and stuff. It's not. But whenever it comes to mostly white background, you will actually notice it. It's a big bummer, and I noticed this the first day itself. So yes, you will actually notice it if it's a white or a plain background. It simply shifts the color, as you can see. And guys, this is a hardware thing. This cannot be solved with the software. I don't know, whatever anybody says, this is a hardware issue. This cannot be the tilt issue when it shows blue will not be solved with the software. Yeah, the color thing, they can boost it up easily via software, and Google has promised they'll give a software update. But this is a hardware thing. This cannot be solved. This is by Shubham. Will it be okay to buy the Pixel now rather than the Pixel 2 or the Pixel XL? Yes, Shubham. Actually, I feel even the original Pixel 2 or the original Pixel or the Pixel XL are still a very good phone. In fact, just 3 days ago, I posted a camera comparison with this Pixel 2 XL. I compared it with the original Pixel XL, and still, I would say, yeah, obviously this has a better camera, has the portrait modes, but still the Pixel XL has a very good camera, and still it's a very fluid phone. I was using the Pixel XL just till last month, and still I would say it's a very, very fluid phone. And now in these online sites, sometimes when you get those deals on Amazon and Flipkart, it was going as low as 34,000, and I feel for that price point, yes, it's still a kick-ass phone. Yeah, the bezels are big on that one, but yeah, in terms of performance, still it's a very good phone. And it's also got the new Pixel launcher. I just updated my Pixel original XL, and it got this new Pixel launcher. So they are still updating the old Pixel with the new features that you're getting on this Pixel 2 XL software wise. This is by Anirudh. How was the haptic feedback? Does it compare to the iPhone Taptic engine? Haptic feedback is there, guys, but again, it is not as good as the Taptic engine feedback that you get on the iPhones. That is another level, I would say. This gives vibration like other normal Android phones. So yeah, but yeah, iPhone, because of the Taptic engine, it's just on another level, the vibration feedback that you get with that one. This is by Deepak. How fast is the Pixel 2 XL battery charging when compared to the OnePlus dash charging? The dash charging is definitely way faster. With the dash charger, when it was, I think so, I remember the OnePlus 5, when it was about 9%, it fully charged in about 1 hour, 9 minutes or so. This one will actually take close to about 2 hours to fully charge. It charges to about 90% in 1.5 hours, but the last 10% actually, this takes almost half an hour to charge. So fully charging, this will take 2 hours. The OnePlus, roughly about 1 hour, 10 minutes. So definitely the fast charging on OnePlus, the dash charging is way faster. In fact, I timed it. In 60 minutes, this Pixel 2 XL with the supplied charges 70%. It's only the last, last 15%, it actually takes a lot of time to charge. This is by Niarkar. He says, as it does not have the headphone jack, what is the quality of the audio output via the USB-C port? That is the USB 3.5mm headphone jack. Yes, sadly, they have omitted the headphone jack like the iPhones. I don't know why they did it, and I hate you Google for that. Yes, now you have to use that dongle, supplied dongle for 3.5mm headphone jack, and I would say the audio quality is good enough, but not the best that I have heard. For example, the LG V20 had a far better audio output via the headphone jack. So it's good enough, it's not bad, but again, it's not the best. And I have heard that the LG V30 that is coming has a far superior, 3.5mm headphone jack. So yeah, it's not a deal breaker, but again, it's not among the best that I've heard. This is by Abhishek. How many years will it receive software and security update? Google has actually promised 3 years of security updates and software updates on these Pixel 2 devices, both the 2 and the 2 XL. And also they have bumped up the warranty. Almost every phone, again, even flagships have just 1 year of warranty. But the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL will have 2 years of warranty. This is by Jairad. He's asking cellular calls and Volte. Yes, the cellular call quality is fine. I've been actually using this with Airtel 4G. That's my primary SIM. And yeah, obviously the Volte was. In fact, Jio is also giving some offers on this smartphone. You can check out Jio website for details. Harsh is asking, how is the LG OLED screen on the Pixel 2 XL? Yeah, there are issues with the one, as I've told you. The biggest thing that you'll notice is immediately after getting this device, and even if you check it in the store, check with any white background, for example, Twitter and stuff. If you just tilt the screen, it will show that blue tint, and that is easily actually visible. So that is an issue with this. Colors are also sort of muted on this. I would say they have that vivid mode, but again, hardly makes any difference. But Google has promised that they will be adding one more new mode on this, that with 8.1 update. I believe that will come next month. It's still in beta, so by next month we'll have one more mode where the saturation, the colors will be boosted like we see on normal AMOLED screens. And there is another issue that people were talking, that is the screen burn-in issue. I haven't faced it, but it's too early. It's just been about 3 days since I've been using. So again, I'll be continuing using this phone as my primary phone for the next couple of weeks. And if I notice that screen burn-in issue, that's a major issue. If it is there, I will surely mention about this on Twitter and stuff. So do follow me. And now let's talk about this LG OLED screen. Why Google was forced to use this one. Actually, the best AMOLED screens are being created by Samsung. And recently, if you notice, Apple has moved to OLED screen. That is, the iPhone 10 will have the OLED screen. And right now, the load on Samsung is so much that they simply cannot supply OLED screens to other providers. In fact, even to, that's the reason I read somewhere that the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus, Apple actually wanted to put an AMOLED screen on that one, but Samsung could simply not provide that. So what Google and in fact even Apple did is, I don't recall the exact number, but Google invested almost $1 billion in LG's invested in their plants so that they can make OLED screens. And even Apple actually implemented that because Samsung is actually keeping the best AMOLED screens for themselves. In fact, if you notice the Note 8, the Note 8 has the best AMOLED screen. Even the iPhone 10, Samsung didn't give them the best panel. They gave them the one generation old panel. Again, yeah, if I'm a manufacturer and if I'm also selling the phones, I'll keep the best for me myself. So that's the reason, Google simply went with LG. And the simple fact is that LG is a couple of generations behind Samsung in AMOLED technology. So if we compare Samsung OLED panels that we get on the Note 8, on the S8, they are actually vastly superior. But even Apple has invested in LG because, again, Samsung can control the market of AMOLED. And again, it's not that mature, that technology. Hence, the panel that we are getting with this LG smartphones, LG on this Pixel 2 XL is, I would say, not comparable to the OLED panel that we are getting with Samsung. In fact, I would say the regular Pixel 2, which is made by HTC, has a Samsung panel. And if you compare it side by side, that one has better picture quality and does not have those big tilting issues like this one is having. So yeah, definitely Samsung has better panels. But again, Google didn't have an option and they had to go with LG. And in fact, it's been rumored that Apple next year will be moving many of their new phones, whatever they call it, iPhone 9, iPhone 11 or whatever, they'll be moving to OLED screen for most of their phones, and they'll start using panels from LG. Because Samsung is simply not able to provide that many panels to these manufacturers. This is by Rakesh. How to capture portrait modes? Portrait mode is very simple. It's just a setting for both the rear facing and the front facing camera. Let me just show you for the front facing camera. If you just go to the settings, you just have the portrait mode. So if you just invoke that, now the portrait mode is enabled and you just take a normal photograph and it just shoots. So it is there for both the front and the rear facing camera. As you can see, this is if I go over here, I can change it to the portrait mode. It's just a simple setting. You don't have to do anything. Though it just has a single lens, it's able to do that portrait mode because of artificial intelligence, and the results actually have been very good. And also some of you have asked me about the camera performance of this one. The camera performance is actually top notch, and I feel as of now it's the best camera. It's easily beating the iPhone 8 Plus camera. I took some samples side by side, and almost I would say in many of the situations it's even beating the Note 8's camera. So camera wise, actually it is a very good smartphone. Again, check out the camera video that I posted just a couple of days ago, where I compared this one, the Pixel 2 XL's camera, with the Pixel XL's camera, and I took a lot of samples in various lighting situations, very low lighting conditions, outdoor, even indoor lighting conditions, and even I took some samples with the so-called portrait mode, and they came out actually good. So these were the common questions that I was getting regarding the Pixel 2 XL. Overall, I like the phone, but yeah, regarding the screen, that blue tint issue is a real thing, and it is there. Again, I'm still testing this phone, guys, so I will be posting its review after about 1.5 weeks or so. So if you still have any particular questions regarding this Pixel 2 XL, do post your questions in the YouTube comments section below, and I'll try to actually include them. Thank you. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.